Another attorney commercial with big promises? Millions of dollars, practicing law 24 hours a day, blah, blah, blah. Let's get rid of the smoke and mirrors. None of that really matters. What does matter? Having a medical doctor as your attorney. That matters.
Hey there, crew. Good morning to you. It is Wednesday. It is March 11th. For those of you that like 311, the band, it is 311 Day. Some of you are like, what the heck is that? And that was kind of my jam back in the day, and they're having a big concert in Vegas here, a little celebration every day. Well, anyways, good morning to you. You're watching Peaks2Plains Weather, Mornings with Meister, and I am Chief Meteorologist Matt Meister here. We have had a little bit of a different situation come in overnight. I told you that you would notice when that front got to your house last night, and you probably did. Ahead of it yesterday, it was a nice one. 69 in the spring, 77 in Pueblo. We hit 80 in the southeastern corner of the state. And then Tamco Live Doppler radar as the front came in overnight. We talked about this, the possibility of some flurries over the eastern plains. Had a little bit of snow up across the ski resorts. And you see some radar echo here. A lot of this didn't make it down to the ground. Early this morning, we do have a few echoes up across northern El Paso County, to the north of Calhan, to the north of Peyton, right on the county line. Probably not seeing most of that get down to the ground, but there might be a couple of snowflakes. Denver this morning, you can see they haven't had any snow of note. Still windy out of the north at 17 miles per hour, down to 25. Castle Rock, there have been a couple flurries overnight. Breezes are lighter there. In Lyman, the wind's out of the north at 31 right now. So we've still got some north wind over the plains. You can see, even though they had radar echo overhead, it was just some flurries. They don't have anything out on the ground. But across Elbert County, into Lincoln County, parts of I-70, off to the east of Lyman toward Kansas, there is still some wind this morning. We've got it out east of Highway 71 as well. And there's some wind over the mountain areas. So we are going to deal with that today. We're cooler than this time yesterday. That will be a trend that continues for the balance of the day. You're going to get one refreshing day here before things change up. We're down into the 20s on the north side of the Palmer Divide. And we've got 30s and 40s with the wind kind of mixing up the atmosphere early this morning over parts of the plains. So hi, everybody. How you doing? It is good to see you here early this morning. Thanks for joining me. Marty says, man, no wind. I can't do that in the extended forecast, unfortunately, Marty, because we have more wind than not here as we head through the extended forecast. Hey, open invitation for you to join me here. You put this into your browser, either one of these links here, and whether you're on your phone, whether you're at a desktop computer, you can join me live on the show. You can share something about Peaks2Plains Weather, something good happening in your life, perhaps. Maybe ask some weather questions. We can talk about that. I always welcome you to join me. Those links are the same every day. So please write them down. In particular, when the weather is nasty, if you have something to report from where you are. Peaks2Plains Weather is our weather together. And, it only works if you join me. I know some of you are a little bit shy about that, but it's just friends hanging out. That's what this is. It's neighbors helping neighbors. I do want to talk about one thing here, and I actually hadn't planned on this, but since I was thinking about it, I want to do this before I jump into our extended forecast here. And I am going to start off, just getting something ready here, across the eastern United States, where I talked about this yesterday morning, some active weather, and there was a loss of life last night. So we're going to take a short break. I'll talk about that, and I'll get into our extended forecast. Don't go anywhere.
Oh, beautiful for spacious skies, for amber waves of grain, for purple mountain majesties above the fruited plain. America, America, God shed His grace on thee.
Here's to 150 years of the state we call home.
At Phil Long Ford Motor City, we've been around for 80 years. That's like 560 in dog years. Basically, we're the top dogs of Colorado. And thanks to our deals, selection, and service, we've earned some pretty loyal customers. And our GM Mark, he's the most loyal guy I know. Even after I chewed up his shoe, it was delicious.
Great trucks, amazing deals, and belly rubs for dogs. Come see why Colorado drives Phil Long Ford Motor City. Hey guys, where's my shoe?
Emergencies are unpredictable, but you don't have to be unprepared. Peak Alerts sends you targeted emergency alerts in real time for the places that matter to you most, so you know what's happening and what to do next. Know first, act fast. That's the power of Peak Alerts.
All right, here's what I want to talk about. We have had a loss of life with some tornadoes that occurred yesterday, and I'm going to head over to the weather wall here, and you can see there's still some thunderstorms out there this morning. Most of the tornado activity was in northern Illinois, northwestern Indiana. There were some tornadoes farther to the south as well. We're getting to the time of year where the atmosphere is pretty dynamic here. There's some snow moving across Iowa early this morning. And so you get this contrast of the Gulf air rushing northward and some, colder air from Canada coming in, strong jet streams overhead. And this is the time of year we can start to see some severe weather. So keep those folks in your thoughts and prayers as they have some cleanup to do here through the day today with some of that weather moving across the eastern parts of the United States. So that is not an amazing situation, obviously. And, it always, even with all of our technology that we have nowadays, it always makes me a little bit sad here when weather takes the loss of life. Let's start talking about our weather. You can see the system. The tail end of this is this is the one that's producing that snow across Iowa. That's what drove the cold front through here overnight. And so that's going to make things a little bit different for us as we move through today. You get one day behind that system of some cooler air, and then things, will be a little bit different as we move through the days ahead. Jet stream moving across the area will zip out of here over the next couple of days, and we will see the wind become a big-time issue, especially across parts of the area off to the west of Denver here as we head through the overnight and into Thursday as we start to really talk about some fire weather concerns. So you can see here early this morning that we have had those showers across northeastern Colorado, very, very light. Little skiff of snow up across the ski resorts. I don't think that's the big story here for the balance of the day, but we do have some clouds around, and just keep in mind, somebody might see a flurry up across the Palmer Divide and maybe somewhere else here through the morning. If you catch something, it's not going to be a big deal, but you can see that SkyCast picking up on that potential. I think for the back part of the day, we just get more and more sun here as we move through our Wednesday. The good news, perhaps, is that you get cooler temps. I think it is going to feel sort of refreshing out there today with 40s from the Springs up into Denver, across the Palmer Divide, 50s over the southeastern plains when you consider that we were well into the 70s to around 80 yesterday. It's a solid 25 degree or so drop. We'll drop in the mountain areas as well, just not as much as what we're going to have over lower elevations east of the mountains. So Banjo doesn't like wind. Some of you don't like wind as well. Janine says she's east of Ellicott. She's got wind this morning. So Banjo is going with a 7 on his barometer. Easy to understand 0 to 10 scale of if it's going to be nice or not. I'd go with a 9 myself because I think the cooler temps feel good. But you can see we'll keep the wind going east of the mountains through the morning. And then over the mountains, downstream of the Continental Divide, you see some darker oranges there. There will be a few areas catching some gusts across the San Luis Valley, the upper Arkansas River Valley, up toward Leadville, and some of the foothills west of Denver. That's downslope, westerly air that will have things pretty dry up there today. And so there are red flag warnings up for the San Luis Valley and the upper Arkansas River Valley into Lake County there for the day today. Tomorrow, the cool air's out of here. We're right back to fire danger. We've got fire weather watches up. And overnight and through Thursday, in fact, into Friday morning, a high wind watch that should be upgraded here later on this morning to a high wind warning to the west of Denver. There might be some gusts around 100 miles per hour, thanks to a mountain wave that develops. So places like Boulder, Nederland, up toward Red Feather Lakes, areas west of Fort Collins, Highway 93 between Golden and Boulder will be a little bit rough as we see some wind between 60 and 90. And like I said, a couple spots, maybe to around 100 miles per hour. Temperatures tomorrow starting a little bit chilly, some 20s over parts of the plains, but we warm right back up tomorrow. Kind of like yesterday, upper 60s to around 70 over the Palmer Divide, 70s to around 80 over the plains. We will have wind. We'll have stronger gusts up against the hills than we'll have out over the plains. But we keep talking warmth here into Friday. We are talking downslope. We keep that going right on into the weekend. You see some mid-80s to start off the weekend. Fire danger is going to be a story here for the back part of the week until the next cold front arrives. That will get here Saturday night, and we'll talk about our extended forecast coming up here in just a little bit. This is why I like our weather together. Jennifer says we are getting a few flurries in Meridian Ranch. Thank you for that report, Jennifer. I appreciate that. Janine says, oh, great, I'm heading to Nebraska and Iowa tomorrow. Well, that snow will be out of there, so you'll be fine getting there, whether you're flying or driving. Janine, I think you will be okay, so nothing to worry about there. Want to let you know about something I'm going to do tomorrow. We are going to start a new segment called Throwback Thursday, right? That's kind of a jam on social media. Well, it's going to be a jam here on Peaks2Plains Weather as well. We are going to once a week look back at historical weather in Colorado that's happened in the past. I'm excited to do that with you. I will put that together today. I'm actually heading out to Pueblo today to meet with the Weather Service folks who are hosting an interactive warning team. Interactive in the sense that we'll do some tabletop exercises. The Weather Service folks, some local media folks, emergency managers. Usually there's some folks from a fire department or two that are there, from a sheriff office or two that are there, kind of getting everybody that serves the public together when weather can kind of be an impact and work through some situations, make sure we are all ready to work together to serve you. So at about 7:15 or so, I'm going to head down there. I'll be down there all day, but I'll have all my stuff with me. If we get a fire or something in one of those areas where there's a red flag warning, we'll let you know about that. And if we get a fire. Christina is not excited about the wind here. Says we're doing our roof by ourselves this week. When do we need to be worried? It's slow going. Christina, kudos to you actually for doing your own roof. I am impressed by that. I would say in terms of, wind that might be a detriment to that project, I don't know where you are, but I would do it today. And I think tomorrow, if you're in the cities, you're going to be, nothing that's too rough. Might get some gusts up around 30 or 35. But I think as we head into Saturday, will be the windiest kind of the 3 days for a lot of us. But it'll be an off and on issue. So good luck to you. Keep doing that. Let's talk about our extended forecast here, because we've got, as we head into the weekend, one cold front on the way, and then it is going to be, I think, record book time as we head into next week. So here you go. On Friday, we're going to be warm. Saturday, we're going to be warm. But off to the northwest, you can see colder air getting organized here late on Saturday. That blasts in here Saturday night, kind of like the front coming through today. You'll know when the front gets to your house, swapping out air masses with a 25 to 30 degree temperature drop. It's going to bring some wind. Sunday will be quite a bit chillier across the area. In fact, I've got Colorado Springs going from the 70s to the 40s. right? It's kind of like you saw a state trooper or maybe a Colorado Springs or Pueblo police officer out on some of the roads across the area. Not that you should be doing 70s in town. That's not what I meant. But you get the idea there. And I do think a couple areas may deal with some snow, because as we look at the upper level energy that's going to be driving that colder air into the region, notice how close it gets into early Sunday morning. It's across northeastern Colorado. So kind of really similar to what we've had overnight and early this morning, but probably a little bit more significant is some snow that will develop for the first part of the day. And you can see it's kind of the Palmer Divide, kind of some of the mountain areas north of Highway 50 where we're watching this stuff here. But some of us might get some light accumulation of snow, especially on the grass and trees, because it's going to be really warm after today. But something we'll watch for the next couple of days here. So Kiowa, up on the Palmer Divide, I've got us dropping almost 40 degrees here and waking up to a little bit of snow. So northern El Paso County, Douglas County, Elbert County, maybe up into the Denver area, and certainly some of the ski resorts as that upper level system moves through, bringing in that colder air for Sunday. But then look at this. For most of next week, particularly the back half of next week, that is a big old ridge of high pressure centered around El Paso, Texas. That thing is going to build in here, and I think it takes us into the record books for a couple days in a row on high temperatures. And you can see Monday's kind of a transition day, but then boom, Tuesday's warm, but then we're talking records, I think, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Colorado Springs, I looked, our records are around 80. So I think those are going to go, mid 80s as a possibility, crew. That's that's a historical, if you're talking records, ridge, right? And look at Pueblo, 90. Are you excited about that? Let me know right now before we get out of here, because I see your comments here, and I want to know if that sounds exciting to you or not. The good news is I don't think we'll have some of the wind as the ridge builds in that we're going to have here for the end of the week. So because of that, maybe fire danger isn't as high, but that is some really, really warm stuff. Christina says she's in Manitou doing that roof. You might have some gusts from time to time, but you got to get it done, right? So good luck to you guys for that. Letitia, I think, was laughing at the 70 to 40 thing that I said. And Jeremy says 90s in March are not welcome. Yeah, man, I don't know. That ridge it's not like I'm going to have to change that forecast and pull numbers down a lot, Jeremy. I just don't see that happening. That ridge next week is going to be the real deal. And if you remember, I talked about yesterday that I think we're going to get into our snow melt here really quick. We'll end with this today. It seems appropriate given what I just showed you on the long-term forecast. Here is our snowpack in terms of snow water equivalent, because really it's the water that we care about. So you see the median, or think of it as average, snowpack there, and you see the dates on the bottom. That median line is the green. We're well below that. Current year is black. We're below the lowest data that we've had in this SNOTEL data set, the automated sensors. On the years where the snowpack tends to be below average, the snowmelt tends to start earlier than it does on the years where there's a lot of snowpack. And so about March 20th, March 21st is usually when we start to melt the snow. And given what I just showed you with that ridge for next week, we're going to start that in a big way. Not great news, unfortunately. So, my friends, that's it for me today. Thanks for watching. I am going to update the extended forecast here. I'm going to get a couple things ready for the day, and then I got to head to Pueblo. I will have all the stuff with me. That's what's great about Peaks2Plains Weather, is that I can cover the weather for you regardless of where I am. Have a good day, crew. Tomorrow, join me, 6:30. Tell your friends, because we're going to do Throwback Thursday. Have a good day.